The goblet squat is one of the most versatile lifts out there and is one of our favorites to teach. It can be used by first-time lifters, moderate lifters who hit the gym every now and then, and even seasoned lifters. The goblet squat is great for the quads, hips, hamstrings, and core. Before we begin, it is important to go over some safety hazards. If you have any kind of joint pain, especially near any of the muscles being used, use very light weight and proceed with caution. If any children under 12 are performing this exercise, it should be done with adult supervision. Be absolutely sure to always follow proper form as instructed in order to prevent injury. Also avoid using weight that is too heavy or too hard to grip to prevent strains on the arms. This is a quad exercise after all. The tools needed for this exercise are very simple. All you will need is a dumbbell or kettlebell and you're ready to begin. Step 1. This is a critical step, especially if you are just learning this exercise. A lighter weight is recommended in order to perfect your form. Step 2. Grab your weight and stand up straight. This is your neutral position. It is the beginning of the exercise. You will start here and you will end here. Your feet should be shoulder width apart with your toes pointed slightly outward. Comfort will be important in filling out this part of the exercise. Do what feels good above all. Also, when holding the weight, remember to hold it vertically. If it is a kettlebell, grip it by the horns. Step 3. Brace your core. Take a deep breath and hold it in your lungs. Next, squeeze your core hard. This will be important to help keep the spine protected throughout the movement and to help keep your legs and hips tight while you descend into the apex of the movement. Step 4. Lower your body. This is where you initiate the squat portion of the exercise. Begin lowering yourself down, and while doing so, push your butt and hips back while bending your knees. A good mental cue to aid in this would be like sitting in a chair. The chest should be pointed up and kept strong, and your back should be straight. 5. Continue lowering your body until your thighs are parallel with the ground or slightly lower. This is the area where the exercise is at its hardest point. Step 6. Maintain posture. This is a very important step because it ensures that you're in full control during the movement. Remember that rounding your back or hunching over will put your spine at greater risk of injury. It will take some stress off the quads, which we don't want. Step 7. Pause. Once you finally reach the bottom of the movement, pause for a quick moment. This is important for stability. Step 8. Drive your body up through your heels. This is the hard part. Be explosive in the very beginning of the movement. This is the hardest part of the exercise, so push out of the hole as quickly and strong as possible. Remember to keep the posture we talked about while coming up. Step 9. Exhale. As you get closer to the starting position, let that deep breath out. Step 10. Lock out. This is about to be the very end of the movement. Now you simply need to lock out your legs by fully extending them. Remember, one of the functions of the quads is to extend the leg. Troubleshooting. This is important for you if you're experiencing some problems during the exercise or while attempting to complete it. So we'll start with the most common ones and work our way down. Pain. Knee pain can be common with quad center exercises. Remember to closely follow the steps to lower your risk of knee pain. Remember to not let your knees go over your toes at the apex of the movement. Above all, use a lower weight. We prioritize form first. Go slow, and once you confirm the movement without any pain, begin to increase the weight according to your liking. If the issue persists, see a doctor. Lower back pain, another common issue with the goblet squat. This, 99% of the time, an issue with core bracing and spine position. The lower back often hurts when undue stress is put on it. Remember not to ever hyperextend your spine and not to round your back at any point during the movement. Rounding the back can take the stress off your legs where the stress should be and puts it on the back. Again, lower your weight until it is possible to perform the movement without pain or discomfort. Like with the first problem, if the issue persists, see a professional. Heels lifting off the ground. This can happen especially if one is lacking in ankle mobility. The lifter probably lacks the proper mobility to achieve depth without leaning forward, hence the heels lifting off the ground. Remember to sit back slightly, but not too much, to have the weight be as evenly distributed across your feet as possible. Consider becoming more flexible in the hip and ankle areas. This will allow you to complete the exercise with the most ease. Wobbling. This is also likely to occur at the bottom of the lift or the apex. This also can be due to poor mobility in the ankles and or hips. Often the problem is that when you get to the apex of the lift, you wobble because you lack the mobility to stay straight and still. Stretching before and after each set and a good warm-up beforehand will significantly lower one's chances of this happening. It also can be good to warm up without weight and simply do an air squat. Difficulty reaching depth. This is quite common as well. Some people may have a harder time reaching the proper depth in order to hit the apex of the exercise. Using air squats or bodyweight squats will be helpful as a warm-up to ensure one can reach depth properly. If you are a new lifter, this may be a problem for you, but remember to keep stretching and squatting as far as you can without pain, and the time will come where you can easily reach depth. Lastly, we dedicated a small section to maintenance. These are some simple tips to help you maintain what you learned in this video. First up, foot placement and stability. Ensure your toes point slightly outward and your feet are shoulder width apart. This provides a stable base throughout the movement. Incorrect placement can lead to instability and potential injury. Consider going barefoot or using flat-soled shoes for better stability. Next, spinal alignment is vital. Poor spinal alignment can strain the lower back and lead to discomfort or injury. Keep your spine neutral and your chest elevated. Avoid arching or rounding your back to prevent strain. Depth of squat matters. Inadequate or excessive depth in the squat can affect muscle engagement and joint stress. Squat down until your thighs are parallel to the ground or slightly lower. Maintain balance to avoid bouncing. Knee tracking. Knee tracking is essential. Poor knee tracking can place undue stress on the knees and increase the risk of injury. Maintain your knees in line with your toes. They should track in the same direction as your toes without buckling too much inward or outward. Finally, breathing technique is key. Improper breathing techniques can decrease stability and lead to decreased performance. Breathing deeply as you lower yourself into a squat, filling your belly with air to support your core and produce intra-abdominal pressure. Congrats! You have finished the Goblet Squat. You will have tree trunk legs in no time.